Curtis, it's quicker.
It is,
Oh,
best,
man.
just for you.
Professionally. I love it. I me feel like I'm the real deal.
I no longer have to stand up.
A little selfish motivation behind that.
We are,
The agenda was emailed out, so I'll start by accepting a motion to approve the agenda.
so moved.
I was like, there's only 4 of us in this room for that one.
Yep.
Can I get a second? All right, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, moving on to the minutes, that Tori emailed out. Did anybody see any additions or revisions that were needed for those? No. All right, I'll also accept a motion to approve the minutes. All right, and a second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Perfect. Jonathan.
Everybody.
Yeah.
So, as you know, we've been working so hard. All of us, Lee, Curtis, myself, Chance, Sam, and Sarah, have been working so hard at making sure that we know we're on the ball, making sure we know where we're going. And so, we're doing a great job. And I'll go ahead and kick us off with our financial update. And we. Oh. Oh, there we go.
It just controls your volume. Oh, no. Okay. I thought I took.
Oh, there we go. Come on, man. Correct. For a second.
It's just every 30 minutes before you.
We're learning together, it's good.
Technology is not much fun, so we go and preface this. We're gonna cover some very similar things from previous months. Cash at the end of the month looked very similar to previous 2 months. So sitting at about 800,000, a little bit less than half in savings as opposed to previous months. There were a little bit more a little bit more than half was in savings in previous months. A lot of that is timing of spend coming out. So we're still moving forward, and this really the only sort of cash flow question mark that comes at the end of every month is very similar for a lot of other schools that we work with, where some schools rely on that end of month payroll or end of month funding to cover the end of month payroll. Thankfully, Lead is in a more sturdy position with the savings account. So if funding is ever on a slight delay, depending on the timing of when the district releases it, we're still in good shape. Like I said, 2 months cash on hand, still looking solid with the 45-day benchmark for the debt service requirements. You see deferred revenue up there is still, that's still holding the $690,000 from the EPA. Waiting on, I saw in the previous minutes, we're sort of expecting the next couple of months to start making moves. Am I right, Chris? Or was that
On the bus.
on the bus? Yes.
Yeah, well, I'll update everyone, yes.
Sorry.
Mhm.
I didn't mean to steal your thunder.
Yes, okay.
All right, we'll keep moving along. So revenue, we are at about 60% of what we budgeted for the year. Just good. I know we just saw the first month with a slight, the first month of the new funding based on the 45-day count that will go through April. Just above $400,000 per month. Slight decrease from the previous funding off 5-day count, and there will be another slight decrease based off of the 135-day count, which is coming up in about a month. And So we're still seeing, pretty similar breakdown between local, state and federal funds. I believe there are some more federal, dollars that I can start claiming. So with that in mind, as I'm able, I will claim them. Make sure that the school, as we've spent the money, will be reimbursed for things. One of the special ed teachers being claimed under IDEA, we can claim a good portion of the funds that are available to us. So we'll continue on. So year-to-date net income improved from last month. It was a swing of about $120,000. Part of that is a sizable donation that Sarah was able to bring in. Part of that was the Title I funds that we claimed, and a couple of different aspects there. Curtis and Suzanne mentioned a decrease in tech spend in January, so I think moving in the right direction, absolutely. Ratio of instructional spend to revenue is still lower than we'd like to see. But that is a district benchmark that they just like to see. We can sort of investigate that further as we move on. As they say. They like to see 51%.
Okay.
In certain circles, sometimes we say we have bigger fish to fry, with our debt service and things like that. So, and it's not as bad as 30% per se. And so, like I said, we're monitoring it, along with avenue of the school. Our key metrics, like I mentioned, a little bit under half of our cash in savings. Days cash on hand is looking good. Our trailing 12-month calculation, that's one thing I wanted to point out, is the last of those one-time items is going to fall off the trailing 12-month calculation in February. So then what the bondholders will see will be accurate to what we're showing as well.
Okay.
Cause
you've been removing it,
I
right?
have,
Yeah.
that's the 1.29 right there. And when I send over the financial packet, there's a little piece broken off to the side. And so that will then become just the same as what the bondholders see on an ongoing basis. And it originally was for the schools, just sort of visibility on everything. So tracking along well. And we'll continue. I have a couple comments on the projection I've been working on. I know that you had asked me, Sarah, to discuss that a little bit. So I'll hit that at the very end. And so, like I said, debt service covenants. So year to date, we're approaching the end of the year. So we're approaching where we budgeted to be, based on the debt service schedule, and what we're going to pay out in June for interest. And so we're at a 1.29. So we're working on local contributions and FY26 claims. Suzanne and I were able to get, I think, all but like $14 of the fiscal 25 funds that were left over. Just a hair too. We could, if we wanted to get an award, we could really put that in a year.
Yeah.
I'm just reminded of someone over at High Point claimed like 6 cents last year. He was in it to win it. But like I said, cash is looking good. Sort of fluctuates through the month, so there's some moments where it looks a little bit lower than others. But as long as we're paying attention, it's not necessarily something to fret over or spend too much energy on. Did it again. This is you, Curtis.
Yelling at us.
Opportunity to,
We're focusing on the opportunities.
Yeah.
So risks to things like the debt service coverage ratio. A big one is the legal fees that forbearance has pushed onto the school. I know Chance is gonna see if he can talk about those being removed from net income available for debt service calculation, similar to like a capital expenditure. I don't know if that's going to be true. There's nothing to substantiate whether that will or will not happen, but there's just a thing that we're hoping that can benefit the school if they will allow it, because you guys didn't ask to pay $80,000 in legal fees.
Yeah.
You didn't.
Yeah.
But we're keeping on, we're pushing, we're working with these projections to make sure that we have our eye on the ball for the end of the year and not just where are we right now. And so Sarah's working on, not you, Sarah, other Sarah is working on the funds coming in to cover the rest of the cost of the bus, which is going to be phenomenal for the school. That will be great for both net income and for cash. We just gotta make sure we get it. Take that dinner out to dinner again, you know, send her a birthday card, whatever it takes. But that will be huge for the school. It'll be an amazing gift for the school and for the kids. So that's what I would focus on. I'm gonna work on my end, working on the fiscal 26 claims with Suzanne. And really anything else that we can really dial in on with local donations or renting facilities or anything like that we've sort of anticipated. We'll sort of focus on those. Yeah, that is, I think it. As far as the projections go, like I mentioned, there will be a slight downturn in federal or in state funding in May and June, depending on how enrollment lands. The number that I currently am working off of is 374. Does that sound accurate?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's what I was gonna anticipate. I'm making sure that I'm working on triple checking my formula to make sure that what I'm anticipating is gonna be accurate so that you guys have accurate figures. I'm working on adjusting things based on conversations that we've had for certain spend categories and seeing different trends for how things like supply spend may taper off towards the end of the school year. I'll have that out to you guys in the next couple of business days. So, but I'm very near sort of having that updated with actual, well, it's updated with actuals and making sure that everything looks nice, neat, and in order for you guys. So, do you guys have any questions for me?
As we're looking towards FY 27, sometimes the district or people give like a estimate of what the per people allocation will be. Is there any like rumor or word around what that would be for next year?
I saw a possible number that was just over 4,300.
Okay.
So similar to what we were budgeting for
Okay.
for fiscal 26, and you know, a slight downturn from what it's currently funded at.
Okay.
But I haven't seen any concrete numbers from the district yet.
Okay.
But as I know them, I'll send them your way.
Alright.
I know that we're working hard together to make sure everything's locked in.
Yeah.
Cool. Any other questions?
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank
you.
you guys. Yeah, man. No, I appreciate your time.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Good.
Yeah. Have a great rest of your meeting.
You too. Yeah.
All right, up next, Darian, so it can be Darian or Kate
Yeah.
for mission in a minute.
In a minute. All right, so our mission is Lead Academy equips individuals to be well-rounded leaders. The principles of be nice, work hard, serve well, and have fun. And so this Fun Friday,
Wave your arm, Ross. Yeah, thanks.
this Fun Friday, they decided to focus on strong leaders, are curious and open-minded. And so they partnered with different organizations to give kids the experience of different tasks and different experiences they have never had before. So that brought in different vendors for karate, circus, was it circus day?
Yeah.
Circus arts, which I would have loved to do, dancing, woodworking, archery and those types of things. So the kids got to experience that for the first time, some of them for the first time. And I know my son absolutely loved it. So I think he chose tech ball, whatever that is.
Yeah.
And what is that?
It's like, it's like ping pong.
Okay.
But it's soccer.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
like
okay,
ping pong,
yeah.
hacky sack, soccer, yeah.
So that's what, I think the next Fun Friday, I forgot what Sarah said it was gonna be, but I think it's gonna be pretty.
She said March Madness.
March Madness,
Yeah.
yes. So I volunteered to help out with that.
Yeah.
That's about it. Yeah.
Thank you. Curtis.
Sweet. I don't have a whole lot in my report. We had a lot of snow days. And so we missed a lot of school, which we'll talk about in a little bit of readjusting our schedule for the remainder of the year. But a few updates, both of our girls and boys basketball teams made the playoffs this year for the first time in Lead Academy history, and they both won a playoff game for the first time in Lead Academy history. So this is huge. I think we've been working to build a competitive program for years. So it feels like we're on the right track to making that happen.
Boys and girls
Boys
basketball.
and girls basketball.
And who are the coaches, Curtis?
So our PE teacher, Coach Mays, is the girls' basketball
Yeah.
coach, and then our fifth grade teacher, Mr. Crocker, is our boys' head coach.
Yeah.
So those staff members, Mr. Mays is actually our athletic director also,
Mhm.
so
Okay.
he will be looking into making some banners that we'll get to reveal soon
Nice.
for our team. So we're excited. One of our parents, Mr. Ravenel, is having those made and donated to us. So we're excited about that. Earlier this month, we also had an opportunity to have a visit from one of the Harlem Globetrotters. He came and did a presentation for our school. Some of our basketball teams got to participate in some activities with him.
Yeah.
And he just did some brief presentations for middle school, and then he came and just kind of walked the halls and did some tricks for our students. So that was really awesome. So through this ice skating, we kind of built a relationship with Bon Secours. So we're gaining more opportunities and special opportunities with them. And
Fourth grade had a field trip there today
Mhm.
to watch a hockey thing, and now there's a hockey thing happening right now.
There is, that's where I'm going after this.
Yes, so
Wagon Thursday.
this Bond Secours thing is turning out to be pretty very nice.
yeah. And we also have upcoming in March tickets for the SEC Women's Basketball Tournament. And they're gonna bus our kids there. Our girls' basketball team might have an opportunity to play with the players. And so.
I'll chaperone that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our chess club has started. I think I mentioned this last board meeting, but we recently got a grant through Think Move Chess Academy. So this past Tuesday was our second chess meeting. They have 3 volunteers who are great gentlemen that have been working with our chess club. They are very passionate about chess. So it's fascinating to see people so serious about the game.
Are they young people?
They are.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
look like they could be like college age.
Yeah, that's cool.
Guys, and so they really enjoy it. They're very complimentary of our students. And then I think the Fun Friday that you mentioned was January Curiosity Day.
January, yeah. that was
January.
yes.
So we've since had a February Fun Friday, where it was rodeo themed.
Yeah.
And Miss Majors, who is one of our instructional coaches, also has a farm, and she does like exotic animal auctions at her farm. And so and her daughter is she rides horses professionally, and she does the rodeo thing professionally.
PBR kind of stuff.
Yeah, and so she brought horses to our school, and our students got to ride the horses as a part of our February Fun Friday. So that was really cool. I didn't get to, but it was still a lot of fun. Yeah, and that's it. Those are like the big highlights. We're still pushing towards spring break. We'll have like teacher contracts will start being issued out around the end of spring break. We have our third grade play that'll be coming up on March 12th. if you are interested, that's awesome. We're doing Mulan this year. Nope,
Moana.
Moana.
Yep.
Excuse me. I knew it was an M. Moana is our show this year, so that will be in Fountain Inn at the Yonk Center. Yeah. Paige, you doing development update?
Yeah, but if
Is
you-
it bus in
There
there?
is bus, but
Okay.
if you wanna.
Is that with tape? You do it with tape?
Go for it.
I'll speak that. That's all I got. Our enrollment is at 375.
How is it, looking for next year if we've kind of opened or?
I know, I haven't gotten an update. I know we had a lot of interest in kindergarten, so I think we were about half.
I actually haven't, I have no idea,
Okay.
which is interesting.
We talked about
No,
that
yeah, you know, I have.
last meeting. I don't have an update on.
Okay.
With,
How's it going?
so I know she's been doing lots of tours. We're still enrolling students this year.
Yeah,
We've had,
2 this week.
and we have 2 that are starting next week. So there's still people that are interested in enrolling for the school year.
Great, we have 2 calendar things under you before we.
Oh, yeah.
Cheers.
So, I'll just pass these out. We have to make adjustments to our current calendar, due to our snow days. So one of our days will discount it as a school closure. So we would have to use one of our built-in makeup days, which is on March 13th. And so this will be just the adjusted calendar that'll be posted in place of our current calendar. We would just need to vote to approve this makeup day on the 13th of March.
I'll move to approve it.
Second.
All those in favor? Okay.
Yeah, it won't be a seat, no. But my son was with me, but.
Well, there was a school that tried to use the President's Day,
Yeah.
that's a holiday, as a makeup day.
Yeah.
And the parents like revolted and they had to change it. So that's pretty wild.
Was a day anyway, so I'm not mad about it.
Won't mess up your schedule. All right. So this is the calendar proposal for FY 27 or next school year, 26-27. We we settled it. And I can talk through some of the decisions that we made.
Yeah.
So not a lot of adjustments. So, our start day will be, August 6th. Which is about 3 days, 3 days before the Greenville County start date. Their start date is August 11th. And so with us starting 3 days sooner, that gave us about 3 days to wiggle room. So as you all know, we do what's called student-led showcases, SLS, which they don't really count as a traditional school day. Students would just come in for a portion of the day to do their presentation and they would leave. So those days don't count as part of our 180 days. So we have 2 of those. So we decided to use 2 of those flex days that cover the SLS days. And then we use that 1 extra day, the 3rd day, and shaved it off the end of the year. So instead of the 27th being our last school day, the 26th is our last school day. Which is a day sooner than Greenville County.
I might have
I-
missed it. I only see 1 SLS day on this.
It may not exist on this calendar. There will be a second day in there.
You're correct, you did not miss it.
Okay.
It has been missed.
Okay, I was like, I was looking, but
It will be sometime, the one for this year is like April-ish, so we need as a team to discuss like testing things to make sure it falls appropriately. Cause the end of the year gets pretty stacked as far as like what our requirements are for state testing, so that we have to backward plan it. But they keep changing those requirements, so we're trying to let those settle.
Those are the only changes. I believe almost every other day, every day in this calendar is mirrors Greenville County's, schedule.
You've got, when you update, you have a couple typos in March. Cause at first I thought spring break was in February. That's early spring break.
Yeah. She'll make it, pretty like this.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
was like, the
This
box
is our
heads,
draft.
the box heads
Yeah.
are right, just the.
Oh, I talked about that last time, but we're doing a staggered start with kindergarten, so. Thursday and Friday would be those 2 days where we'll split them, and that next Monday, they all come.
Mhm.
Any questions? Do you need a vote now? And then we can approve it again for when the SL, the other one gets added, or?
I don't know. It would be nice to be just done with it right now, if you wanted to vote.
And we can say with the second one, add
With
it
the-
for discretion of
Yes,
administration.
yeah, those words.
The spring one,
Yes.
I guess,
Spring.
yeah.
Yes. We'll count that as Ross making the motion.
Yes, I mean.
Yeah.
We accept calendars.
I will second.
Third.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Nope. Great, on the agenda, so Paige, I'll let Ms. you and Curtis rock, paper, scissors for who wants to talk about the electric bus first.
I was just typing before I got my thoughts. Well. I have to make sure everything ends. As always, Sarah puts me together, puts us together, a very lovely document,
Very thorough.
explaining everything. And the update is that so far, $32,178 out of $54,000 has been raised for the buses. Woo-hoo, that's really great.
Yeah.
It gets better.
Okay, I like that.
Yes, our donor has agreed to give an advance of the rest, allowing me to go ahead and order buses. With the expectation that the money will be raised. We do not want to make her sad.
It will be raised.
It will be raised.
But the deadline is
Mhm.
not as.
Yes.
Yeah.
Flexible.
Yes.
Mm.
She sees great value and is very interested in enrollment, particularly in Latino students, and she recognizes that of other things, having a functioning bus, working towards that is huge for students, all students getting to school, having reliable transportation.
That's wonderful.
So. Do you want to add
It's
anything?
pretty awesome.
Oh, that's-
Yeah.
that's great.
I was like, does that mean we can
Wow.
order them?
I mean, that was
When she
fast.
when she
That was
gives us the
1 month.
money, so, I'm waiting on an updated quote.
Okay.
So I just, it sounds like things change with tariffs and inflation and the market. And so I don't think this
We
matters.
allow it to go that way.
No. It's gonna go that way, but I just need an exact price so I
Yeah.
can make sure we're covering
Yep.
the amount that we need, so. And then he's not easy to get to just like send information, so. I don't have anything, I think, in our meeting, our finance meeting from last week, we talked about unrestricted funds and how capital purchases work. Are y'all interested? I can try my best to explain it.
Basically, we can, because like we have the revenue and the bus is a large one-time expense, you can capitalize it, so it's not a risk in broad strokes to days cash on hand or debt service coverage ratio. Like buying the bus will not put us in a negative financial situation in the eyes of the bondholder.
And
Yeah,
if, I think I estimate around $75,000 is the amount of money she will be fronting us to buy the bus. Since it's like just to help enrollment, it's not bus specific.
It has to go all the way off.
That money does help our days cash on hand and debt service coverage ratio as a, with that unrestricted donation. So it's like the donation helps our financial position and the bus purchases don't hurt us.
That's great.
So it's like a double win.
Mhm.
So it's like,
good news all around.
The purchase of the bus will not impact.
debt service
Yeah.
or days cash on hand. And the donation will help both.
Yeah. Perfect. So do you anticipate, because I imagine us as a board are gonna have to approve the purchase of said buses. Our next meeting is March 19th. Do you anticipate needing a vote before then, or can it
Um,
wait? Literally 4 weeks.
it would be nice if there was just maybe like a blanket statement now. And then similar to how we just approve grants or something. And then whenever we get the money, we can just kind of move if we don't have to wait.
Yep.
I don't know what that looks like.
I think we can make a motion to approve the purchase of a bus up to the amount raised. Yes. Okay, if you guys are good with that. Okay, we can make that my motion and then somebody can second.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Perfect. Well, hopefully, I won't be here, but hopefully there'll be good news that we'll have buses ordered.
Yeah.
And Ross can celebrate that news with everyone.
Off to bring in cake.
Okay. Help me remember that.
Yeah.
Put that in the minutes.
Bus cupcakes.
Is that it?
Hold strong.
Yep. All right, well, moving on to committee updates. I will speak for Stanton. As Jonathan said, thankfully, him, Stanton, myself, Curtis, Lee, we already knew each other, but we've gotten to know each other very well over the past several weeks. We've had lots of meetings and discussions. Some of it we've had ongoing conversations on, the financials that are presented are the trailing 12 months. And in the January meeting, Jonathan said he was working together for projections, looking ahead to where we were going to finish this year. And the good news is he was projecting that we were going to be over a 1 debt service coverage ratio, which is good because if you drop below a 1, that's like a true default. 1.2 is the number that in bond covenants we're supposed to be at. A 1 means the money that you've brought in and the money that you've spent, including debt service coverage, like you're breaking even. So that's where a 1 is. So if you drop below a 1 on paper, that's like you can't pay your bills. So that's where things get really scary. So you don't want to drop below a 1. So the good news is we were above a 1. Bad news is we were projecting below a 1.2. And so lots of conversations, looking at numbers. So broad strokes, still fine tuning some things, as Jonathan said, especially, we don't want to keep doing this as much fun as our weekly meetings have been. I don't think any of us want to continue down this path. So as Jonathan said, he's looking to anticipate what the 135th day count is gonna be. So if we're gonna do an adjustment, like, let's just do it all at once. So still fine tuning the numbers, so nothing officially to approve in this minute, but just without going into like specific names, so we don't have to go into executive session. Some of the things that we've identified is one of the instructional coaches is going to hourly versus salary. And so that's a savings for the rest of the year, of about $15,000. All in. They've done a great job of looking at technology spend, specifically really limiting like color copies, really only having the like recurring subscriptions that we need, just really kind of tightening that up. So anticipating reducing technology by about $8,000. And then the operations and maintenance, the projected amount, because we had some large kind of one-time experience or expenses. They basically for projections look at like the back 6 months and then see what it's gonna be. Well, we had some one-time expenses in the back 6 months that were extraordinary, and we don't anticipate having those in the spring. So some of those, like the projections, we thought were off. So that was about a $19,000 difference. And then as Curtis said, with the $75,000 donation that's unrestricted, that'll count as income. So with all of those, we think now we're gonna like squeak in. So that's one of those that we really have to watch it as we're going. And then as Jonathan said, keep an eye on what the 135th day count is gonna be, because it is retroactive. So kind of anticipate what that income's gonna be. So once we get that, we'll have a real clear picture. But with the increased income, and then reduction in spending, as of right now, we look like we're gonna squeak right by.
Meaning 1.2.
Mhm.
Good work.
Still some year left. I won't shout until June 30th.
It's one of those expenses, the electrical issues that had earlier. Like,
The electrical expenses in there, but if I'm correct, it is like, that is considered a capital expense.
Okay.
Which doesn't count.
Okay.
Against our debt
Okay.
service.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
gonna see if they can capitalize it.
Okay.
But some of them were like, it was like a sprinkler inspection or something like that, that is like once a year. And we had a blower that go out on one of our HVAC units. That was like a one-time expense.
Questions on that? Yep.
Oh, one question.
Yeah.
So will we potentially be voting next month on budget amendments?
Potentially, yeah.
Okay,
Yep, and those can get sent out kind of well ahead of the time.
or if not next month, we have more time?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
Yeah.
There's no next month's our last chance.
No.
Yeah.
No, we're not under like a specific crunch, so.
Got it.
We are reporting, like as a part of the forbearance, kind of a budget versus actual. We actually have a bondholder call tomorrow. So like in the conversations, the bondholders are aware that like we're actively monitoring and tweaking. There's just not an approved, here's where we're going. Yeah, there's no, I think the urgency to revise the, budget would be if there's extra things that we want to spend on that aren't there. But if you have a higher amount
And you don't
budgeted
spend
and we're
it,
not
you
gonna
don't-
spend
we
it,
don't
then,
vote on that.
right.
Yeah.
And then while looking at where we're gonna end this year, we started taking a look of very broad strokes of where we're gonna go next year. My goal as Curtis mentioned, they start issuing staff contracts and renewals coming right after spring break. And staff is one of our biggest expenses that we have, so. One of my goals was to at least have a framework. Some of the nitpicky stuff, it's the great thing about like the South Carolina state legislator that, some things aren't officially voted and approved till perhaps June. As far as like finalized teacher pay and the, reimbursement amount per pupil and things that are pretty critical for a budget. You don't always get it in time, so we're doing our best guess. But looking in the kind of initial conversation that we had, we were looking at a overall kind of student count of 385 and seeing if we can make a budget work for that. Thought process behind that being we're at 375 right now. I have no qualms or hesitation that we can go up and increase enrollment next year. But as we've seen, this year we started at 403, and then there tends to be kind of people move.
Some
It's,
attrition, yeah.
yeah, people move and it's harder to get people to come in mid-year. So hoping to set honestly slightly lower of where we think we're actually going to be so that going into next year, we're not doing this game of let's constantly revise it. Now, again, that's a broad strokes. We're still kind of having creative discussions about what a budget would look like. And then how we can maintain a 1.2 debt service coverage ratio kind of with that student count. So we'll also have more updates on that, but that's kind of the framework that we're working on. So I would anticipate for March having some rough numbers to look at. We would not be officially approving a budget in March, that wouldn't, but I think kind of a first glance for the board to look at. And really the biggest thing would be for us to have confidence of, yep, like we're headed in the right direction. Especially with staffing schedule, and here's kind of the critical positions that we're gonna hire within this budget, so that even without approving the finalized budget, because again, those numbers don't come until later, we feel good about starting to issue contracts out. I don't want to make the staff members wait forever. I also don't want to get into a position where we've been, extended contracts and then come May, like, actually, we can't afford you, so sorry about that, so. Trying to get everything together.
Mhm.
Do you guys have anything to add? Did I miss something?
No.
All right. Yeah, Ross, look it for you, and March will get some numbers.
Yep.
Paige.
Some more numbers that Sarah provided, this are just gonna be, I'm gonna read the numbers and then I'll give you a total. So obviously Sarah's been working really hard. She has, for the 15-year campaign, a total of $88,000 has been raised. For family fundraisers, $33,000 has been raised. In grant checks, excluding in-kind grants. So remember, a lot of some of these grants include in-kind things, not necessarily dollars, but the money side of that would be 22,000, with a total of $144,000 that Sarah has worked really hard to raise. And that's incredible. She was like, yes, because Jesus loves me. I was like, yes. However, you worked really hard. And we talked all the time that you say like, hope is not a strategy. And she has really put forth a lot of effort into her strategy and making this happen. So kudos to her on it. She also tells me she watches these back, so. There were 3 things that went out in the Greenville Journal about Lead Academy, as well as something in Greenville Today. And I didn't realize it was this high, but Sarah noted that the audience for Greenville Today is 75,000 people, which is the daily newsletter
Yeah.
that goes out.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. Yeah, very cool. We are meeting with Conacy and Rewa next week to discuss and kind of continue exploring the easement opportunity. So that will happen next week. Curtis and Sarah went to a gathering for local nonprofits and were able to connect with some elected officials from the local level all the way up to the federal level. Found out that Wendell Jones, who is South Carolina House Representative, will be coming for a tour, or maybe he's already had a tour.
It was supposed to be tomorrow. He actually emailed today and canceled, so we're rescheduling that.
Hopefully we'll use-
Which is, Wendell has done specific work around funding schools with electric buses. And
Oh,
funding the different-
cool.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yeah. Fascinating.
Yeah, so that's just another example of ways that Sarah and Curtis and Marissa, the Lead Academy staff, have been working to build relationships outside of just like schools, but other nonprofits and other organizations, which is incredible. We talked through the bus updates. Hold on, that's a big bullet point, but I wrote that already. Yay. We do have a couple of grants to talk through. There is the Clemson Extension Grant for the school garden, which is really exciting. So, the health teacher will take on leading this for a new school garden. Ideally, kids will start sampling and eating foods from this garden. Really cool. Okay. I think maybe if I share what these grants are and what they're going towards, and then we can vote on it, will that work? Yes, sweet. So we've got, LabCorp coming up. This is a science-based field trips coverage type of grant. So ideally it would be for field trips for next year. We have a Spinks and QT working with Motorola Foundation, for safety grants. We don't really know like the names of these yet. So once Sarah has an idea of the direction these are going, obviously the grant will be written to fit that, but it's gonna be more of like the safety technology kind of side of things. FW Sims, Upcountry Fiber, and then Greenville Rotary would be for Lead Reads Week, more book funding. And then Sunrise Rotary would be turning the patio into an outdoor classroom. Funds, just a lot of really cool things, some very specific grants, but still things that are gonna go towards benefiting students in the education receiving. So, I'd really like to make a motion.
Motion.
Thank you.
No, question.
Oh, yes.
Have we voted previously? So there's a summer reading camp grant or summer reading grant.
Mm.
That we're applying for. This is additional funding that we're looking to get, that the state already provides us money for the summer reading camp.
Mhm.
I don't know if we talked about that in the previous board meeting, but if not, I think that's another grant that we're applying for that we probably just need a
I
general.
was like, just put it in there
Yeah.
anyway, and then.
You just had us a summer reading grant?
I think that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be camp.
SRC.
Perfect. Okay, so we have LabCorp, Spinks and QT working with Motorola, Foundation, FW Sims, Upcountry Fiber, Greenville Rotary, and Sunrise Rotary, as well as the summer reading camp.
Cool, that's through the South Carolina Department of Education. Suzanne emailed me.
Oh. What time is it? Oh, 2 days ago. That means I missed something.
What did she say? She asked you to put it on the.
She said it's due this week,
Okay.
and that was like last week, so.
It's
Put it in the minutes.
It's not
Good job, you guys.
Yeah.
It's in the minutes. Cool. Chair motion to approve.
Second,
Wait,
Darian.
Darren motion.
yes,
Yes.
for a second.
Yay. In favor?
All in favor? Aye.
Anything else?
All opposed?
Yes. You're doing great, Paige.
I was trying to think of something.
That's too much.
All right. 13. I do have, it's not on here, but one announcement just for you guys to be thinking of. If you, thinking of board members that would be good to come on in the future. We have to officially elect board members via school vote. Every parent gets a vote, so that needs to happen May at the latest, before everybody pieces out for the summer. There are 5 of us right now, and I don't mind a smaller board. I actually think once you get really large boards, it can get, a little cumbersome. I would say, I think we could go up to potentially 7. I think, so we've got some room to bring in some new people. Ross let me know that he has the opportunity to chair another board. And so just, in attempting to steward his time really well, he is going to finish up his year with us and then rotate off. So we will have one definite open position, going into next year. And then again, I think we have opportunities to kind of bring in some new board members. So I think if you guys want to, now that we've all been on the board, if you want to think of, who might be a good board member, who's a good connector, I think who has, potential skills, that we're missing. I know when Miss Shanna, rotated off, she gave me the name of someone who's a lawyer, so kind of contacting them, I think that's typically a position that, or, a skill set that we've kind of wanted filled that we're missing right now. I think especially as we're
That
working,
does seem important.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, so like, I know that's on my wish list.
Mhm.
I think as we're working on, growing enrollment and recruiting, if there's somebody kind of specifically with skill sets that might err towards that and be able to benefit the team. Yeah, I think just in general, like people who love the mission of the school and want to kind of help it succeed, I think would be good, so. I would say by April, I would like a kind of list of names, so like we can officially nominate them and then they can go up for election. But I think in the interim, like as you're having conversations, if it's always a good idea for board members to come on if they want to like tour the school,
Yeah.
meet with Curtis. If they want to get in touch with me and I can talk them through like what expectations of a board member are, so. All that to say, I would like to have a vote in April, but please don't wait till April to start talking to people, so.
So there are 4 of us here.
Oh, there's 6.
And then
I can't
Tori
count
and
Tori and
Stan.
Stanton. There's 6. You're right.
6 total.
Yeah.
And you would like, or we have to have 5. Is that what you said?
We don't
Oh.
have to have 7.
No, you wanted 7, right?
Yeah,
We'd
I
like
think
to
7
have
would be good.
7.
Yeah. I would love to have, we've never actually had it happen. I would love to have an odd number in case, so like we don't ever end up with a 50-50 vote, because that feels, it's never happened, but that feels, at least it
So basically, the 2 more
2 more.
would give 7.
Yeah, 2 more would be good. That's all of the announcements I have. Anything else? Yeah, I was like, we have to officially adjourn first.
Oh, motion to adjourn?
Perfect, second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. That light never
And everyone else.
stopped, yeah.